Hello and welcome to Plus TV Africa. I am Felicity Ezewike with the news on the hour. The Niger Delta Activist Forum, NDAF, has warned of impending attacks on the Nigerian Ajib Oil Company's NAOC facilities in the Niger Delta. While speaking to newsmen on Sunday, the group stated that due to the disrespect to residents, Operation Zero Barrels has been declared on the company. A 14-day ultimatum had been given to NAOC to employ residents of the host community as members of staff or risk being shut down. NDAF convener Success Jack said that members of the community feel oppressed over the company's alleged violation of human rights with failure to keep previous agreements, the dumping of waste which pollutes the land and waterways in the Niger Delta. He added that all efforts to intervene in the matter have stopped as the company has been adamant concerning its stand. National Organizing Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Austin Akobundu, has denied reports that the party has issued guidelines for the conduct of its presidential primaries. Our correspondent, Mary Chinda, has more on this.
Oh, thank you very much, Felicity. The People's Democratic Party was so much on the news over the weekend, from the Rivers State local government elections to this rather disturbing document, a 40-page document that was allegedly released by the headquarters of the People's Democratic Party in Abuja, saying that the PDP will be demanding 12 million naira from aspirants who intend to run for the presidential elections for both the expression of interest form and the nomination forms. But the National Publicity Secretary, who spoke with me over the phone this morning, Mr. Kola Olapodiyan, has come out to vehemently deny that such a document was actually released by the People's Democratic Party. The Publicity Secretary had actually dismissed such a document as one of those things that may have been sponsored by the ruling All Progressives Congress merely to tarnish the image of the People's Democratic Party. This alleged document also says that the PDP is not matching its words with action by pegging the age for presidential election in the party to 40 years. This again, the Publicity Secretary has denied. These were his words. The party cannot take a turn right now by not supporting young people. According to him, the People's Democratic Party has always been a pro-youth party and is maintaining the age of the presidential aspirants within the party to be within 35 to 39 years. Only yesterday, Sunday, human rights activist and lawyer Femi Falana had said that he is willing to sue parties who engage in what he called commercialization of nomination forms. According to him, there has been a court order asking parties to stop demanding money from aspirants who intend to vie for any position at all in government. That's exactly what's happening right now, and we're bringing you all of these details as we follow up. Felicity, over to you now.
The management of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, the body set up to manage disasters in Nigeria, has stated that there is no good reason for the current strike by its staff, as their demands have either been settled or currently been addressed. In a statement signed by the head Media and Public Relations, Sani Dati, the agency said an understanding was reached in September last year between the staff union and management, paving way for the payment of outstanding overtime allowances. Recall that the NEMA headquarters was shut last week by the local branch of the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria, owing to issues related to insufficient logistics, women separated from their families, and training needs and allowances. According to Dati, NEMA's management expects that the vehicular barricade at the headquarters will be removed and another meeting arranged for Tuesday, June 19, 2018. The governor of Katsina State, Aminu Bello Masari, has raised the alarm over the increasing rate of kidnappings in the state, citing abductions as a major security challenge. In an interaction with senior members of the judiciary and security agencies during the Salah celebrations at the Government House yesterday, Masari noted that the kidnapping of relatives of influential business owners as well as politically exposed people has been observed in recent months, with payment of ransom running into several millions of naira. According to him, just as the state government is partnering with security agencies in managing cattle rustling and armed robbery, the challenge of kidnapping would also be addressed adequately. In his response, the leader of the delegation and chief judge of the state, Justice Musa Danladi, called for synergy between the police and judiciary in the prosecution and conviction of suspected criminals. Youths in Lagos have called for the immediate scrapping of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad SARS from the Nigerian Police Force. This was the focus of the End SARS hackathon held in Lagos over the weekend. Our reporter Mary Chinda brings us the details.
The nation's law enforcement agencies have come under the hammer again. This time, it is the Nigerian Police Force, particularly the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS. SARS is being accused of unprofessionalism and high-handedness in the execution of its duties.
So SARS has become a cancer and it has to be cut off. There's no need, because we cannot use the rest of our life chasing SARS officers that have robbed somebody here. How long are we going to do that? The major problem is take them out.
And as civil society organizations champion the advocacy against SARS in the #EndSARS hackathon, youths are being enlightened on their rights.
And they are meant to earn our trust so that we can continue to report cases to them. They are not the one that stops crime. It is society that will say, we don't want this in our society.
And this is a conglomeration of young people from all across Lagos, young people and celebrities, all speaking with one voice, calling for the outright reform of SARS or ending SARS totally. The Nigerian police in recent time has been known to have caused a lot of brutalization on young people under the aegis of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. And this gathering is to say there has to be an end to police brutality on young people all across Nigeria.
When they come out, the ground is supposed to shake. Criminals are supposed to be the special ones are coming, everybody clears. They come out, handle the business and go. At a point, I was sticking to just reform SARS. He knows. I kept sticking to reform SARS. But recently, I just joined the NSARS fully.
This foreigner bears his mind on police brutality in Nigeria, and the young people gathered here relive horrible experiences with the anti-robbery squad. They say that the solution is not merely in police reforms, but the outright scrapping of SARS.
Police brutality is a problem in every country. It's no different. Same where I come from in Britain, and we all have to deal with it as best we can. And this is a very good way to deal with it. Very constructive, very positive, and I hope very productive as well.
When the leg is rotten down to the bone marrow, what you do is you amputate it. Because if you don't amputate it, the rot is just going to keep spreading.
SARS brutality is something that needs to end. And truly, I don't know how we are going to go about this. So I think the only way is to scrap SARS and find a new way to start again.
It doesn't take anything special to actually want to address injustice. And I don't think you need to wait until it happens to you or a member of your family before you do something about it, especially if you can. The way it's going, we've been calling for an end SARS for a while and we've never really gotten any productive response. I'll just say end SARS.
Only last week, the operatives of SARS were accused of harassing, arresting, and extorting 3 young men who they accused of dressing like internet fraudsters. This is a departure from the usual social media conversations via Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It is a call to end brutality by men of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad of the Nigeria Police. I am Mary Chinda for Plus TV Africa.
Abdurrahman Jimeta, Chief of Staff to Adamawa State Governor Mohammed Jibrila, is dead. Political associate to Alhaji Jimeta confirmed to a news agency that his death occurred in the early hours of Monday in Saudi Arabia, where Jimeta had gone for the Umar, also known as the Lesser Hajj. The State Commissioner of Information, Ahmed Sadio, is yet to release an official statement on the matter. And on the foreign scene, former U.S. First Lady Laura Bush has joined other prominent Americans in condemning a controversial policy that splits up families who illegally enter the country, describing it as cruel, immoral, and heartbreaking. The wife of former Republican President George W. Bush, whose reaction was captured in the Washington Post, said the U.S. government should not be in the business of warehousing children in box stores or placing them in tent cities in the desert. Meanwhile, First Lady Melania Trump had earlier in a rare statement voiced her concern over her husband's zero-tolerance immigration policy, saying she hates to see children separated from their families. Nearly 2,000 families were separated following a crackdown on illegal border crossings in a recent 6-week period. A pro-Islamic State militant group that held a southern city in the Philippines for almost 5 months last year has clashed with the Philippine army. Local media reported that the army conducted air and ground assaults in the Lanao del Sur province on Sunday in hope of eradicating Morte rebels and its new leader, Abu Dar. Number of casualties cannot yet be confirmed by the army. The Islamic insurgents have been operating in parts of the southern city of Marawi for about a year now, and their influence in the region has become increasingly worrying. The siege of Marawi, the country's biggest battle since World War II, left over 350,000 Filipinos displaced, with an estimated 1,100 killed. However, many of those killed were militants. In business, amid the $50 billion tariff on imported Chinese goods to the U.S. announced by Trump administration last week, Goldman Sachs late Sunday reports revealed a forecast of China's gross domestic product growth of 6.6% this year, as economists believe China has a large international market and Nigeria happens to be one of them. Our correspondent Irene Ubani has more on this.
Thank you very much, Felicity. Just last week, the Trump administration slammed China with a $50 billion tariff on all imported goods into the U.S. However, Goldman Sachs and economists have said that China still has chances of getting a gross domestic product growth of about 6.6% this year. And how does that affect Nigeria? Last month in May, the Nigerian government made a deal, a currency swap deal with China of 2.5 billion yuan, which is supposed to basically help strengthen our foreign reserves. For analysts, right, we believe that this particular currency swap deal would help strengthen our foreign reserves because we would have no reason to put a lot of pressure on the demand for dollar, rather than investors or businessmen or women trying to change their naira to dollar first before yuan. Is just a straight up deal. You are converting from naira straight to yuan, which eliminates the pressure on the greenback, which is the dollar. And secondly, there would be availability of liquidity. Regarding the availability of the yuan to the naira, as long as the business persons, importers and exporters are not looking for the dollar in high demand anymore, the liquidity in terms of the yuan availability here in Nigeria would be top notch. So that also eliminates the demand for dollar and the constant availability of the yuan. For its disadvantages, however, since it leads to an increase in the availability of yuan, this simply means that the banks may be at a loss in terms of interest rates, which would have to drop, which may not be a good thing for those that have invested in treasury bills, mutual funds, and other forms of investments in the bank. Because as we know, as interest rates reduce, the percentage profit on your investment in terms of treasury bills and the rest would have to drop. So while it's of benefit to importers and exporters, it may not be very good for the bank in itself. Thank you very much, Felicity. Over to you.
And in entertainment, American model Blac Chyna has recently revealed that she single-handedly raises her children without any financial assistance from her baby daddies. This was prompted amidst Father's Day celebrations on Sunday and got the model to reveal on social media that both Tiger and Rob Kardashian, fathers of her first and second babies respectively, don't pay child support. Previous reports say Rob was mandated to pay Chyna $20,000 monthly in child support, but as his earning potential is low, sources say his family have been doing the payments. If Chyna's claim is true, then it means Rob has stopped paying his monthly payments as put forward by the court. Both Tiger and Rob are yet to clarify their stance on the issue. The unending stories about SARS seem to be getting out of hand, as such rugged man has written to entertainers saying most of them were not supporting the End SARS campaign. Mo Cheddar therefore commented saying it's extremely wrong to force beliefs and opinions on others, but if people want to help, they can. She feels everyone should focus on their beat rather than judge. The controversial Daddy Freeze and Hush Puppy, the Instagram boy, have trailed singer Mo Cheddar on social media after she rejected rugged man's post. In North American theaters, Incredible 2 is estimated to have earned $180 million in its first weekend. The combination of powers of superheroes and friends have helped the film reach and become one of the best animated openings of all time, and it's the 8th highest film launch overall. Although after 14 years of Incredible, then Incredible 2 comes in to also be the biggest ever June debut, and it has boasted one of the biggest animated openings ever. But prior to this, in 2017, Beauty and the Beast Disney's live action held the record for a PG debut with $174.8 million. Incredibles 2 has knocked Ocean 8 to a distant second in its second weekend. Hollywood actress Angelina Jolie is continuing her humanitarian work overseas, and the UN trip includes an Iraqi visit amidst news custody arrangement with Brad Pitt. The trip was marked with her 61st mission was on Saturday, and the destination was West Mosul, Iraq. Her visit to the city and its destruction left her emotional, as she said it was the worst devastation she had seen in all her years working with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. The visit came days just after it was learned that Jolie and Pitt had a temporary custody arrangement by the court, where the judge stated not having a relationship with their father is harmful to them. Sources say the new custody arrangement is a breakthrough for Jolie and Pitt, as they had had little communication prior. And that's it on entertainment. Up next is Udoka with sports.
Hello and welcome to Sports Update on Plus TV Africa. I am Udoka Njoku. I've still got John Ojetunde here. I keep mixing that name up with Ojamakinde, but it's a good one. Tall John right here, and I'm hoping that one day I'll get to his height. But welcome to the show.
Yeah, Udoka, sadly you can never get to my height. Just
wow.
Where you are.
I should remain here. Okay,
exactly.
It's fine. It's fine. David defeated Goliath, remember?
That was then.
But let's go straight to tennis and talk about Roger Federer. I mean, he won the tournament over the weekend. That's the Mercedes Cup, and he has proven himself worthy to be the #1 again. After that defeat in the semi-finals against Nick Kyrgios, he actually took him to the #1 position in the ATP rankings, toppling the likes of Rafael Nadal again. I mean, he has done so much for tennis, and I think he deserves the accolades he's getting.
Definitely, he deserves the accolade. He defeated Milos Raonic in Stuttgart. And you look at the stats for Roger Federer, massive, interesting. He's won 98 titles overall. He's 36, and he's still got more years ahead of him in tennis. A lot of persons have said that probably, you know, at 36, you're supposed to be winning out. But certainly, the way Federer has done it, even at that age, he's still churning out, you know, trophies at 36. 98 titles, he's won 18 in grass court. And right about now, he's looking at Wimbledon. He's also looking at Hill to also get the trophy cabinets, you know, growing up.
Very true. I'm comparing him with the likes of Rafael Nadal. Rafael Nadal has won 17 Grand Slam titles, a record 32 ATP World Tour Masters 1,000 titles, and a record 20 ATP World Tour 500 tournaments, and the 2008 Olympic gold medal in singles. And in majors, Nadal has won 11 French Open titles, 3 US Open titles, 2 Wimbledon titles, and 1 Australian Open title. But of course, the two of them vying for #1 position. One time we hear about Rafael Nadal making it up to the #1. Next minute, it's Roger Federer. But I'm wondering what has what's happened to the likes of Andy Murray and Novak Djokovic. Djokovic doesn't seem to be getting anything right in tennis this time around.
I think the Djokovic story is quite touching. You know, when he had that injury at a point in time, it became psychological. He had to employ a psychologist, you know, to help him out. At that point, so it wasn't really looking bright for him. But you know, he coming back. I think this coming back is a bit steady. Like it's a bit gradual. I think he will get back there. You know, Djokovic at the point in time was also at the top, where Nadal and Federer were second and third. But I think he can always get back at his feet. And for Andy Murray too, injury has plagued his career too. So I think these guys can come back well. You know, it can also give Nadal and Federer a healthy competition.
Very true, a healthy competition right there. Talking about competition, the World Cup is on, and of course the game will be going down later today by 1 p.m. We'll get to see Sweden taking on South Korea. But of course, later today we'll see, looking forward to the game between England and Tunisia. I mean, can Tunisia be the first African country to score a goal for Africa or get to win a match in the World Cup?
Udoka, it's so sad for African teams in this World Cup. We've not scored a goal. We've conceded 4. All the African teams, I'm talking about total stats, we've conceded 4. You know, we've lost 3. And the stats are not really looking bright for us. And for Tunisia, there is no starman that you can pick. Mazansi, their starman, is injured. He couldn't make it to the World Cup. If he had made it, I think it would have probably, you know, helped Tunisia boost their chances. But right about now, you cannot actually pinpoint. The only thing going for Tunisia is actually when they look at their defense. I think that could play a major role. But trust me, when you have the likes of Harry Kane, Raheem Sterling, Marcus Rashford, there's a Dele Alli.
And we heard that Rashford is actually back to the team. But the last time they met was in the group stages of the 1998 World Cup, in England triumphed in that one 2-0. And the only other meeting was in a 1-1 draw in a friendly match in June 1990. And looking at some of the statistics head-to-head, England has never lost against an African team in the World Cup with 5 clean sheets in 6 games. And Tunisia have qualified for their 5th World Cup. Their first was in 2006, and they have never reached the knockout stages in their 4 previous appearances. And for Tunisia, they won their first ever World Cup game on the 2nd of June 1978 against Mexico, after which they have not won a game. And Bulgaria actually holds the record of winless runs, having 17 in all. So all the stats are actually favoring England in this one, but anything can happen. We've seen Mexico stun Germany. We've seen Iceland draw Argentina. We've seen Serbia get a major goal. That's from their top man right there, talking about Kolarov. Amazing free kicks as well. So anything can happen in football. Tunisia has a chance against England.
Yeah, absolutely, Doka. Like they said, football is like a biscuit.
You never can tell where to crack.
Certainly. So you really look at this Tunisian side, you might not actually pick out a single player, you know, that can do the damage. But certainly, if Mexico can do it against Germany, if Switzerland can do it against Brazil, then if the only thing the Tunisians just need to do, they have to be very conservative, because the style of play by Southgate is this Pep style, you know, get the ball, pass around, look for nearest man, then you throw a true pass, then score. So, but the Tunisians need to be very smart. When you get the ball, you wait for your next man, get the ball, and launch it to your strikers. If you see that you are not on the ball, then your off-the-ball tactics should be very, very top-notch, because you cannot really defend all 90 minutes against this England side. So when you have your chances, if it's just one chance, you get it. Because at the end of the day, the possession does not matter.
Possession does not matter. Now let's wrap up with Neymar. I mean, the news is out there. Yes, Neymar wants to be the next best thing in the world of football. And I'm asking this question, is Neymar forcing stardom, or is he really a star? Looking at his prospects right there for Brazil and Paris Saint-Germain. And of course, when he was at Barcelona, looking at how he has performed so far, he left Barcelona because he doesn't want to play second fiddle to Lionel Messi. And he has moved over to Paris Saint-Germain. He wants everything to be about him. I remember the case he had the incident between himself and Edison Cavani, that penalty incident, that he wanted to take all the penalties connecting with Paris Saint-Germain. And I'm wondering, do you force stardom, or do you just allow it to come to you? Look at the likes of Messi and Ronaldo. If you want to be the major man in soccer, allow it to come to you. Don't force it.
Well, Doka, maybe I might not agree with you on that, because you see, there's someone working for this Neymar guy. He wants to be the star man. He wants to be the showman. And same thing, you actually remember Ronaldo too, the Ronaldo of Real Madrid. He also wants to be the show and the star man. So it depends on where you are coming from. Messi is a bit conservative in his approach and character. But Neymar is the guy that he wants to be seen, he wants to be on camera all the time. But hey, look at something. The stats are very obvious here. Neymar has always been behind Ronaldo and Messi. When it comes to Ballon d'Or, he comes third. So that alone sets the pace that sooner he is going to get there. Look at his performances in PSG. Look at his performances in Barcelona. It shows that this guy has what it takes in him. Even Pelé said he only knows 3 superstars now. Messi, Ronaldo, and Neymar. A lot of persons have said this guy has the potential. He has the technique. He has the mastery of football. He has what it takes to become that world star that everyone envisages.
Okay, for Neymar Jr. right there, let's see what he can do for Brazil at the World Cup. I remember what happened between Brazil and Switzerland. He gave his best, but it was not enough. Coutinho scored the first goal, and there was that equalizer from Switzerland's Zuba coming from a corner kick in that one. But that's much you can take on Sport Update on Plus TV Africa. I am Udoka and Jogo. Thank you, John, for coming.
My pleasure.
All right, till we come your way again, keep it locked down to Plus TV because we give you the best. And of course, if you want more information on sports, do log on to our website, plustvafrica.com. Back to you, Felicity.
Thank you, Udoka. You sure make me want to watch the match. My name is Felicity Ezewike. Thanks for watching. That's it for now.